Are you aware that what distinguishes a battery that survives just 2 years from one that achieves a full decade of operation are minor maintenance habits that the majority of vehicle owners completely overlook? It may appear insignificant, but it's exactly these small details that create all the impact on your finances and your vehicle's durability. The startling reality the car manufacturing industry hopes you'll never uncover is that your battery's longevity isn't determined by chance. It's a decision you're making daily through minor actions or their absence. You've been convinced that a battery is merely a disposable component designed to be swapped out every 2 or 3 years, perpetuating a never-ending cycle of expenses. But what if I revealed to you that this cycle can be shattered? That the most experienced technicians, those who operate behind the scenes and possess the most closely guarded industry secrets, employ daily techniques to prolong battery longevity far beyond what producers consider standard. These methods, transmitted through generations of professionals, aren't magic. They are practical science, straightforward actions that safeguard your investment and return control to you. Today, we're going to expose these secrets. I'm about to share strategies that have remained concealed for decades for one very straightforward reason. The longer your battery endures, the fewer you purchase. And you understand what that represents for producers? A drop in profits. They'd rather see you stuck in this continuous cycle of purchasing. But that cycle ends right here, right now. If you value information that genuinely saves you cash and empowers you regarding your vehicle, then demonstrate your support immediately by clicking the like button and subscribing to the channel. It's a minor click for you, but a massive indicator for us to continue delivering content that genuinely makes a difference. Prepare yourself, because the very first recommendation is going to totally transform your understanding of vehicle maintenance. Number 1. The strategic terminal cleaning. Every 3 months. Are you aware that the overwhelming majority of batteries that show up at repair shops, whether on a Ford Focus, a Chevy Cruze, or a Honda Civic, aren't genuinely defective? It's an astonishing reality. More than 80% of these batteries could keep operating flawlessly if they had received a straightforward and frequently ignored maintenance task: the thorough cleaning of their terminals. You notice that greenish or whitish buildup that develops around your battery's posts? That's not merely grime. It's the outcome of acid erosion. Technically referred to as lead sulfate, this material functions as an electrical barrier. In other words, it's as though the powerhouse of your vehicle, the battery, has its pathways totally blocked, stopping it from supplying the required power. The electrical current battles to flow, the starter motor labors, and the alternator operates excessively to make up for it, causing premature deterioration of the complete electrical system. The fix, though, is remarkably straightforward. Take note of this. Create a mixture by combining 2 tablespoons of baking soda in a cup of warm water. This basic mixture is an exceptionally powerful acid neutralizer. Before anything else, and this is an absolute safety requirement, always remove the negative cable first, typically identified by the black color or the minus symbol. Then, carefully pour your mixture over the terminals. You'll observe a fizzing reaction, a kind of miniature volcanic activity. Don't worry, this is the indication that the acid is being neutralized. Grab an old toothbrush or a gentle wire brush and scrub thoroughly until the terminals restore their original metallic luster. After the cleaning is complete, dry them completely with a clean, dry cloth. It is essential that no wetness remains. Then you can reattach the cables, but this time begin with the positive post, the red one or plus sign. Repeat this procedure religiously every 90 days. This straightforward ritual by itself can extend your battery's life by multiple years. Consider it for a moment. A $150 battery that survives 10 years, or one you swap out every 2 years. Do the calculation. That's where the genuine savings lie. Number 2. The monthly inspection of the electrolyte level. This is practically a family secret, knowledge I received from my father, a technician for more than 30 years. It's a practice that nearly all contemporary drivers have abandoned. Most individuals assume that a so-called sealed or maintenance-free battery requires no attention whatsoever. This is pure marketing deception. With the progressively intense summer heat waves, whether you're in Phoenix, Houston, or even Seattle, the fluid inside the battery, the electrolyte, evaporates gradually. Even in the newest models, the electrolyte, which is a blend of distilled water and sulfuric acid, is the essence of your battery. If its level decreases too much and the internal lead plates become exposed to air, it's the start of the end. They start to corrode. Their capacity to retain a charge drops dramatically, and the battery's lifespan is drastically reduced. What should you do? Once monthly, if your battery is the kind that permits it, with detachable caps, cautiously open them. Examine inside each cell and verify if the fluid is adequately covering the lead plates. If the level is insufficient, refill it only with distilled or deionized water. Never, ever use tap water. Tap water has minerals and chlorine that will trigger a destructive chemical reaction inside, ruining the chemical makeup of the electrolyte and sentencing your battery to a certain and swift death. My father had a battery in his vintage car that survived an impressive 14 years simply by monitoring this single detail. When he mentioned it, I thought he was overstating. But after I began following his guidance to the letter, I witnessed the difference myself. Since that time, I have never lost a battery prematurely. Number 3. Creating a thermal barrier. Here's a game-changing recommendation, particularly for those residing in areas subject to extreme heat, a reality that is becoming more common with climate change. And most individuals have absolutely no knowledge about this. Listen closely. Many assume that a battery's biggest threat is the cold. The reality is the complete opposite. Heat is the real, silent killer. And this isn't an opinion. It's pure science. For every 18-degree increase in ambient temperature, a battery's lifespan can be reduced in half. This means that a battery engineered to last 8 years in a moderate climate can fail in just 2 years if it is regularly exposed to the summer heat or the scorching pavement of a major city. And this applies even to premium batteries. But there is a practical solution that many resourceful technicians use and that you can create yourself. It involves building a homemade thermal barrier for your battery. It's a straightforward, affordable, and remarkably effective technique. Note what you will require: a sheet of thermal insulating material like 5mm thick insulation foam available in hardware stores, heavy-duty aluminum foil, and heat-resistant adhesive tape. First, precisely measure the dimensions of your battery. Then, cut the insulation foam to enclose all sides and the top of the battery, ensuring to leave the terminals entirely clear for ventilation and connection. Next, wrap the whole thing with aluminum foil, shiny side facing out. The aluminum will function as a thermal barrier, deflecting the radiant heat from the engine compartment. Finally, use the adhesive tape to secure everything firmly. This straightforward modification can lower the internal temperature of the battery by up to 27 degrees. Yes, 27 degrees. That's sufficient to multiply the component's durability by 3 or 4. I've encountered testimonials from individuals in extremely hot areas who have maintained the same battery for over 10 years just by utilizing this type of protection. Number 4. Disconnecting the negative terminal during extended periods. You know those individuals who go on vacation and leave their vehicle parked in the garage for weeks? Well, many of them receive a very unpleasant surprise when they come back. Let me share the story of Mrs. Johnson. She went to visit her relatives overseas and left her vehicle unused for 2 months. Upon her return, the battery was totally drained, beyond recovery. She had to spend nearly $200 for a replacement one. But what depleted her battery wasn't misfortune. It was the work of what we refer to as electrical vampires. That's correct. Even when it's switched off, your vehicle keeps consuming energy. The dashboard clock, the alarm system, the electronic control unit, ECU, which maintains its data, the memory of the car radio or multimedia system. All these components continually draw power from the battery 24 hours a day. It's a minimal consumption, but over multiple weeks it's sufficient to totally drain a battery. The golden recommendation from technicians is this: before leaving your vehicle parked for more than 7 days, disconnect the negative terminal of the battery. It is typically black. Simply loosen it with a basic wrench. Remove the cable from the post and ensure it doesn't contact any metal part. That's it. The vehicle's electrical circuit will be totally interrupted. This stops the battery from being drained unnecessarily. When you come back, you just need to reconnect the cable, tighten it securely, and your vehicle will start without any issue. It's straightforward, safe, and incredibly effective. Mrs. Johnson adopted this practice, and her current battery is already 4 years old without displaying any signs of weakness. Number 5. Maintaining the voltage between 12.4 and 12.7 volts. Now, we're entering a slightly more technical territory, but it's one of the most crucial on this whole list. Most individuals assume that if the vehicle starts, the battery is in perfect health. This is a very expensive error. The battery may still have sufficient power to start the engine, but inside, an accelerated process of deterioration may already be happening. Think of your battery as a professional athlete. If it is regularly exhausted or conversely overstressed, it will break down much sooner. The optimal situation is for it to function within a healthy and stable charge range. And you can track this yourself with a basic digital multimeter, a tool that today costs less than $20 at any hardware store or online. With the engine totally off for at least an hour, measure the voltage across the battery terminals. The optimal reading is between 12.4 and 12.7 volts. If the voltage is below 12.4 V, it's an indication that the charge is insufficient and the battery is starting to experience a process of sulfation. If it is above 13 V with the engine off, it could suggest a more severe problem, perhaps overcharging due to a defective voltage regulator on your alternator. Checking this once monthly can prevent unexpected failures and substantially extend your battery's lifespan. If you discover a voltage below 12.4 V, it's time to charge the battery with a smart charger for a few hours to restore it to an optimal level. This straightforward action has enabled my clients' batteries to last 10, even 12 years, even under challenging usage conditions. Number 6. Never allow the charge to drop below 50%. This guideline is a direct continuation of the previous one and is perhaps the error that destroys the most batteries. Never allow your battery to fully discharge. Let me clarify with a comparison you'll never forget. Think of the battery as the heart of your vehicle. If it experiences a total discharge, it's like suffering a heart attack. It might survive 1, 2, maybe 3, but the 4th time it's finished. It will be beyond recovery. Most individuals only discover their battery is failing when the vehicle refuses to start, but by that point, the damage is already done. Its lifespan has already been slashed in half or more. Do you want a number to remember? If your battery's voltage falls below 12.2 volts, consider it a red alert. This represents approximately 50% of its total charge. At this phase, hard sulfate crystals start to develop on the lead plates, a process that is extremely difficult to reverse. Warning signs like dim headlights when the engine is off, a weak-sounding horn, or a starter motor that seems sluggish and labored are indications that you are already on the red line. And look at what professionals do. We religiously use a multimeter once monthly to check the resting voltage. The outcome: batteries that never experience deep discharges and last up to 12 years. Those, on the other hand, that completely discharge every 6 months because of a forgotten light or a short circuit rarely last more than 2 years. Number 7. Using a smart charger in maintenance mode. This is the kind of maintenance that professional racing teams utilize on their competition vehicles. You know, those vehicles pushed to the extreme, but whose batteries survive for years. It's not luck, it's technology and methodology. They use what is referred to as a maintenance charge or trickle charge, which keeps the battery in an optimal state of charge without ever forcing or overcharging it. And you can do the exact same thing at home. Simply invest in a quality smart battery charger, one of those that costs between $50 and $100. Forget the inexpensive big box store chargers. You need a device with a multi-stage intelligent charging function and a maintenance mode. Then the process is straightforward. Once monthly, especially if you do numerous short city trips, leave the battery connected to the charger overnight. This type of charger analyzes the battery's condition and automatically adjusts the current to maintain a perfect balance of the internal cells. What it essentially does is dissolve nascent sulfate crystals before they harden and cause permanent damage. It rebalances the electrolyte and restores the optimal condition of the lead plates. It's like giving your battery a spa treatment once monthly, except that instead of spending money, you're saving years of lifespan and hundreds of dollars. Number 8. Checking and adjusting the alternator tension. Think of the alternator as the lung that enables your battery to breathe. It is responsible for recharging it while the engine is operating. But if it is poorly adjusted or its belt is in poor condition, it can slowly destroy your battery without you even noticing. This information was shared with me by a race car mechanic who has worked on legendary tracks. The key lies in the proper tension of the alternator belt. If it is too loose, it will slip on the pulley and the alternator will not be able to generate adequate charging voltage. So, your battery will slowly discharge even while you are driving. If it is too tight, it puts excessive pressure on the alternator's bearings, which will wear out in less than 6 months. And then the cost of repair will be significantly higher than that of a battery. Want to perform a simple test? With the engine off, press firmly with your thumb on the belt midway between two pulleys. It should compress by about ½ an inch, no more, no less. If it is looser or tighter, it needs to be adjusted. Do this inspection every 3 months. Such a straightforward adjustment can be what separates a battery that lasts 3 years from one that endures for 10. Number 9. Removing sulfation with controlled charging cycles. This one is a silent destroyer of batteries. When you allow the charge to drop, or you leave the vehicle parked for too long, lead sulfate crystals develop inside the battery. These crystals attach to the internal plates like hard crusts and prevent them from efficiently storing and releasing energy. The outcome is that a new battery can lose 40% of its capacity in just 6 months if it is mistreated. But there is a solution. You can use a smart charger with a desulfation mode or do it manually with a bit of patience. Here's how. Fully charge the battery, disconnect it, and let it rest for 2 hours. Then connect it again in a slow charge mode with a low current, about 2 amps, for an additional 2 hours. Repeat this cycle 3 times every 6 months. This process of controlled charging pulses helps to dissolve the sulfate crystals, regenerate the plates, and recover up to 90% of the battery's original capacity. I have personally witnessed 5-year-old batteries come back to life and perform as if they were brand new after this treatment. Number 10. Applying petroleum jelly to the terminals. Here is the 10th and final recommendation, which may seem basic, but is one of the most cost-effective in the long run. Apply petroleum jelly to the battery terminals. That's right. After meticulously cleaning the terminals as outlined in the first recommendation, apply a thin layer of ordinary petroleum jelly or even better, dielectric grease. This straightforward act creates an invisible but highly effective shield against moisture and acid vapors, protecting the terminals from the formation of that notorious white and green buildup that corrodes the metal. This corrosion, by the way, functions as an energy blocker. Even if your battery is in perfect condition and fully charged, the vehicle may refuse to start if the terminals are so corroded that a proper electrical contact cannot be established. I've witnessed batteries treated with petroleum jelly last 8 years with flawless posts, while others without protection were totally compromised in just a few months. The cost of this operation? A few cents. The savings? Hundreds of dollars. And now answer me in the comments. How long did your last battery last before you had to replace it? Also mention the make of your vehicle because I want to understand the scale of the issue we are facing with battery manufacturers. If this video has helped you save even one battery replacement, then verify now that you have clicked the like button. It greatly helps the algorithm display this content to other drivers who may be getting ripped off right now, or even to technicians who were unaware of some of these nuances. And of course, subscribe to the channel because throughout the week at 6 p.m., I will reveal the most controversial technique of all. We are going to teach you how to restart your vehicle even when all seems lost. Trust me, you will absolutely not want to miss that. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I'll see you in the next video where everything will be revealed.